we're talking about blood types. Blood type diet, but also blood types. There is a blood type that has a very protective role in this particular infection. So is there a personality difference between A's, O's, D's?
Well,
so let's have a look at this diet thing. What exercises we should be doing. I'm going to ask you a question. Which blood type lives the longest?
Hey guys, welcome to the ATP project. You're with your hosts, Steve and Nick. Hey Steve, how are you this morning?
I'm excited because this podcast is for every single human being on the planet.
Yes, actually, you're right. Every single human being. I know. It's an interesting
It relates to everyone.
It does relate to everybody. And may I say, a little controversial
very
as well. Everyone has an opinion on it. Everyone thinks they're right about it. So, and we've done this before.
Yes.
You and Jeff
Jeffrey
did this last. Yeah, it was about a year ago.
I know, and we're updating it and expanding it and blowing it up because it was so popular. It literally blew up the internet. Oh, just that at the time. I don't know what that means, but it was very popular, and we've expanded on it. And we're talking about blood types. Blood type diet, but also blood types.
Yes. So last time you spoke sort of specifically about the blood type diet, I guess, whereas we'll try to flesh it out a little bit more. We will talk about the blood type diet because people still, I guess, have some confusion around that. Some people like, yes, it's a thing. Some people it's not a thing.
Yeah.
I think we're in similar camps in that we can see some validity of it, but also there's not a lot of really strong science to back it up. So
that's the diet itself. Yeah, there's stuff there that needs discussion. But we're going to talk about blood type personalities.
Yeah, that's really interesting. See, I love this stuff because again, I think I said the other day, I love studying human behaviour.
Yep.
And to sort of, I like to connect dots to everything. So
it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So
and this is like, before you switch off and go, it sounds like astrology, it's not. No. This is, astrology of fake stars grouped together in the sky. If a planet goes through. Sorry?
Fake, you say?
It is fake. It's definitely fake. because
I'm joking, Steve.
Do you know there was originally 13 of them and they had to be, it was like, it's a whole story about it. If you listen to Professor Neil deGrasse Tyson, he breaks it all down. Very interesting. I was listening to one of his podcasts yesterday, but with Professor Richard Dawkins, who's an evolutionary biologist, which has got a lot to do with what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots of cool stuff. We think it's going to be fun. So if you have any interest in the blood type diet, we're definitely going to go through that again and both sort of have our opinions on that and where we can maybe see some validity. And then, as you said, personality types, where blood typing we came from, or how we found out about the different blood types, all of that sort of thing.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Steve.
Got some exciting news for you.
Yes.
You can vote. Not screw the general election and screw the NT election was on the weekend, the Northern Territory election, but
we don't care about any of those elections right now. We've got a much better vote.
Don't care about Trump and Biden and Harris and all those people and JFK Jr.
Oh, I was going to say that's old school, Steve. He's not even around anymore.
He's around
I don't follow politics clearly.
JFK Jr. I said.
You did say that, yes. Yes.
And he's not real junior. He's pretty old now.
No, he's pretty old now,
yeah. Not as old as me. Oh, he's probably
that's true.
No, he's probably older than me. But you can vote on your favourite Australian podcast.
Yes.
And you know which one that is.
Well, it goes without saying. And if we have to say it, then we shouldn't.
Well, what I want you to do is go to the link below.
Yeah. Australian Podcast Awards.
Yep.
Australian Podcast Awards.
And vote for us.
Yep. The ATP project.
Yep. And we will
keep us so we can keep going and filling you with knowledge and entertainment every week.
Yes. I was going to say, and make Australia great again, but that's been taken already.
That's probably been taken, yeah.
So vote for us. Now, let's start off with some facts about blood types.
Yes.
Firstly, blood A type's the best. Do you agree?
I agree, Steve. Yes. Now, I wonder if I can pick what blood types we are.
Geez, there's a guess. I'm a blood type A positive. You're an A positive.
Yeah,
that means
A
plus, top
best,
of the class, best looking.
Yeah.
But there's A, there's O, there's the O's, and then there's the B's, and then there's the ABs. So we're talking about those four letters. So there's rhesus factors. There's about 40 different types of blood types. We're just talking about the letters.
I was going to go into the 40 different, but then I started down that rabbit hole and thought, you know what? No, that's a whole podcast all on its own. I think we'll leave that alone. Very interesting, but levels don't go down that rabbit hole.
No. We're just doing ABO because that's what the blood type diet was on. And there's a lot of more research on just ABO and what they are all about. But I want you to talk about Dr. Landsteimer.
Yeah, so Dr. Karl Landstein, you like that? That's my Austrian accent.
That's brilliant because you are part German.
I'm part German, yeah. Rasgeber.
He was from Vienna, wasn't he?
Yes,
he was a Vienna physician, yeah.
He was, yes. So he was the first person to discover blood types.
Whoa.
In the 1900s.
Well, 1900.
1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 1900. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, exactly.
1900.
Yeah.
1901 is when he published his first paper on it, which was seminal. Because before that, they were giving blood transfusions to people and it was going great and then it would kill them.
Yeah, I've got some really cool information on that.
But I want you to go back to the 16th century.
Yeah, let's go back to the 16th century.
Where Newton was hanging around. You know Newton?
I know. Well, not personally. I mean,
he's a great guy.
Yeah, you would have hung out with him for that. Yeah, exactly.
Copernicus.
That's right. So in the 1600s, so Renaissance doctors, Steve, mused about what would happen if they put blood into the veins of their patients.
What a good idea.
Some thought it could be a treatment for all manner of ailments, even insanity.
Why not? You run out of blood, you get it from insane.
I think that was the main element back then, it seems to be, because that's all in the literature is insanity.
Oh, there's so much insanity. And the politically incorrect, the wandering womb for the women.
Exactly.
Women's stuff. That was even in the 18th century, 19th century.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's not. It's true. Women are a bit... No. Here we go.
Oh, God. And
email,
the emails are starting already.
Yeah, geez.
Okay, so in the 1600s, Steve, after all this musing about what would happen if you actually put blood into someone.
It's a good idea.
Someone decided they'd actually do it.
Oh, why not?
Right? So a French doctor injected calf's blood into a madman.
Why not?
Why not? Who started to sweat, vomit, and produce urine. This is in the article. The colour of chimney soot.
Oh, okay.
So, it wasn't a good result. So they thought, you know what? If that's doing that, let's give him some more.
Yeah.
Because you never know, it might work.
Yeah.
No, he died.
Oh, okay. So but apart from dying, he got better? There's no more insanity.
Well, he might have got better had he not died. You don't know. We don't know.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
So that sort of gave transfusions a bad name. I don't know why.
No, come on. That's ridiculous. That's so narrow-minded of them. Anyway, God.
So 150 years, everyone just thought, you know what? Let's not worry about it.
Oh,
we'll just leave that right alone. So then in the 19th century, only a few doctors dared. They thought they'd give it another go.
Yeah, why not?
So one of them was a British physician named James Blundell.
Now, James Blundell is also a singer.
And not the country
not the singer guy.
Because that was my first thought too. Anyone that's sort of our age.
We are
James
West
Blundell.
Wales.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the.
Okay.
Well, anyway, maybe.
Yeah.
So as of the day, and he's watching a lot of, all this stuff happening with female patients dying during childbirth, bleeding out, that type of thing.
Terrible.
So he said, you know what, this can't go on. We have to do something about this.
We have to.
So what can we do? So he decided that he would try a transfusion.
Sure.
When it all started again, they transfused blood from an animal to a human.
Oh yeah, why not?
So then
we're animals.
They thought, that's right. They thought that would be pretty good.
Sounds like a good idea.
But no, that didn't work out well either.
You're joking. Come on.
No, didn't work out well.
Jeez.
So then he thought, you know what, Steve?
What?
He thought, maybe humans should just get blood from other humans.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I know.
No, come on.
But no one had ever tried that before. Oh, strange, I don't know. Well, it's very forward thinking.
Yeah.
So he designed his own transfusion contraption.
Oh, yeah.
To do his first transfusion.
Sure.
And then he started testing it out on dogs initially.
Yep.
That's got me right there because I'm like a dog person. So I'm like, just go straight to the humans. But anyway, he gave 14 ounces of blood into a man's arm.
14 ounces. An ounce is about 28 mils.
Yeah.
So,
times 14.
Yeah.
Steve, has your brain?
About half a litre.
There you go. And then the man actually said he felt quite a lot better.
So he survived and lived happily ever after?
Yeah, he did for 2 days.
Oh, and then he died.
And then he died.
Oh,
yeah.
But that's like that's a win.
Yeah.
Remember in the 20s when they gave the first antibiotics, the guy lived and recovered health, and then they ran out of antibiotics and he died. So that's a win.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. Let's go.
It was an improvement.
It's an improvement.
The previous attempts. So,
okay.
So he continued on, to do these transfusions, and only 4 patients survived. So then the other physicians then started doing it, and they all had pretty much the same result. It was pretty dismal. They didn't have a lot of success.
Not the greatest.
So then they thought they'd try things like milk transfusions.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Blood, what's the difference?
Well, exactly. Female humans produce milk.
Yep.
So, no, it didn't work so well. Surprisingly. It didn't work that well.
Naysayers?
Yeah, I know, right?
Terrible, isn't it?
So he's gone, really, we should just stick to blood and just see how we go with that.
But it's funny because in the olden days, now modern testing is we test things in test tubes.
Yes.
And it's called in vitro testing.
Yes.
And what they jump to is in vivo, human or animal testing. And that's not the way to do it.
They skipped a fairly significant
step. So later in the 18th century, they went back to in vitro.
In vitro, yes.
Now, what happened then?
So what they did is they would mix different bloods from different people in the test tubes, and they noticed that sometimes the blood would stick together.
Yep.
So then, because it was generally from sick people that they were getting the blood, they just thought there was something, because that's why they were sick.
Sick blood,
the blood
clumping,
was clumping, right? So then no one had ever tested out healthy blood to see if it did the same thing.
Huh.
So then good old Carl Landstein thought he would, you know what, let's see if we can mix healthy bloods and see what happens.
Ooh.
And it clumped too. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't.
Well, that's a bit shit. Wonder why that is.
No, right. So then he thought, you know what, I'm going to map out this clumping pattern and see what actually is happening. And that is how they discovered the different blood types.
Groups.
They said, you know what, there's different blood groups, and sometimes if you mix this, this blood type, this one and this one together, they clump, but this one and this one don't.
Right.
So what's going on there? So that's when he then, you know what, there's different blood types. He found 3. So AB, he called them A, B, and C.
ABC, yeah, that was funny. I like that.
C.
Good on him.
Yeah, I know,
I like
right?
that.
That's just a simplicity.
I love
best,
the scientists used to name things.
Yeah,
like when they discovered X-rays, they go, "What sort of rays are these?" Well, I don't know. They're just X. X-rays, and they're still stuck.
Yeah, I know.
But ABC crazy. Didn't stick. What do we got?
No, so C obviously eventually became O.
Yep.
And then a few years later, they discovered the AB group. So that was the next group. So that's kind of how they discovered blood groups, which is very cool.
Good on Steiner.
Not good for the people who they sort of tried things out on and didn't go well. But
if you win some, you lose some, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So it's all right. It's the blood types. Now it gets even more complex than that, because if you're like we're A's, so I could donate blood to you, you could donate blood to me.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. We're all fine.
Yeah, Matt, we don't know. He doesn't know.
We don't Matt with behind the camera. I don't know.
Don't want whatever happens there. But we'll be okay, Steve.
But let's say he was an O negative, which is fairly common.
Yeah.
He could give blood to anybody he wants.
That's right. Yes.
Now, your brother, who's a bit selfish, what's his blood type?
He's an AB negative.
AB negative.
He doesn't mind me saying this.
He can only give blood to AB negative and AB positive.
Yes, he's the rarest blood type on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.1 or 1% or something.
It's 1%.
It's very, very
It's
low.
very rare.
Yeah.
We're pretty common. We're second most common, by the way.
Yeah.
O positive is the most common.
Yeah.
About 50% O positive. We're about 30-something%.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are the better looking blood type.
That is true.
All the studies say there's studies galore saying that. You ought to get emails about that. How dare you? Can you imagine? Actually, I've got a funny story about that.
Yeah.
And this is going back in about 2001.
Yeah.
I was asked to give a guest lecture at an old college where I graduated from down the Gold Coast. And I was talking about the blood type diet because I'd met with Peter Diadamo back then, and we'd done seminars with him when I worked for Metagenics, and gave a talk there. And I was talking about the different blood types, and a lot we're going to talk about today, so I won't give it all away. And I said, and I, when you try and talk like we're doing, we try and crack some jokes to make a thing. And I said, A's are this, A's are that. And peer-reviewed studies have found that A blood types are better looking than the others. And it's just a gag.
Yes.
And they just went, write it down.
Oh, no.
So there's probably some people out there believe that are on these new fandangled dating apps that are going, I'm blonde, I'm 5'9", and I'm an A blood type.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a little bit embarrassing because I meant to say at the end of it as the crescendo that, I was joking about that because I'm an A, blah, blah, blah. And I forgot.
So they walked out of there going, my life is over. I'm a B type.
So after that lecturing fail, I became a professional lecturer and ran a college for 10 years. So there you go.
As you do.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
But the thing that makes me, I shouldn't say makes me laugh, is people, we're very much, we're tongue-in-cheek here. We are actually just making a joke of it. People take it seriously. So we aren't being serious, just in case you're not aware.
I've offended half the population already when I'm said already, but we just joke. It's all good. It's all good fun.
Yeah.
So that's the blood types. There's ABO and all that sort of stuff. But do you want to know where they all came from? It's really interesting.
Yeah, I do. Tell me, Steve.
Well, we have to go back a long, long time ago, back to when we were about 20 million years ago. Is when they first.
That music, you know.
I want to pick on humans, but we are bipedal apes, right? And so there are blood types in our ancestors. Well, more of our cousins here, like chimpanzees. we're very chimpanzee-like.
We are.
88% of chimpanzees have blood type A.
Yeah, that's right. But they're very smart, Steve.
Okay.
So I can see the correlation.
But you know that down here, this is where the brain size increased. The chimpanzees are up here, which have kind of smaller brains.
Oh, great. Okay.
Can you see the size of the skull there, the little back part? Look at this. Look at even the Homo erectus.
Yeah, that's
look how big that is.
That's big size, not bigger yet.
So it grew. You know, our brain size now is about 1.4 litres. You know, the other bipedal apes are tiny. But anyway, gorillas have blood types B and A. Of course, orangutans B and A and AB. And gibbons have AB, BA and B and A, but no O's. So the O's only came from the chimpanzees, which are, as you can see on our little tree here, up the top there. So it's part of our thing about 8 million years ago. So A's were the original ones, and then O's kind of developed later. And
because there's two. Because people say no, O's are the original, but we have found evidence that A's are the original, and then I have heard that the B's think they're the original. So everyone's going to. We're going to not make everybody happy in this.
Exactly.
Because everyone's going to think their own
originals.
Own thing.
This was published in a paper called The Brief History of Human Blood Groups, and it was published 2013. And it does give you a couple of different of the hypotheses. One's O and one's the ABs as the original. So
we don't know.
Good.
Yeah.
But there are certain races that have different blood groups, and I know you want to talk a bit about this, but the O's are very rich in the Red Indians, South Americans and Eskimos and Africans and those sort of things. And that's very interesting because why? And then there's different A blood groups in different areas and that, but why are there different blood groups in certain areas? Isn't it?
I know, and that's what fascinates me because I want to know why. With everything, I always want to know the why. It annoys people because I always want to know why. But really struggled to find a lot of sort of reasons why.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, and it's due to natural selection. As I was listening to Dawkins last night, and he's a big fan of that. You know, he talked about The Origin of Species, which is 1850s book by Darwin. Of course, people may or may not know that. If you're a nerd like me, you'll know about that. But if you're not a nerd, you may not. So basically, there's their blood types are pressured by like we talked about yesterday about how humans are at the top of the tree. We're kind of not because it depends on where we are.
Yeah.
If I dropped you in the ocean or any human in the ocean,
that's right.
They would die.
We're not on the top of the tree there.
A Greenland shark, it lives for 500 years. So who's at the top of the food chain?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Even bloody peacocks and shit. Not peacocks. What are those other birds? Cockatoos and shit. They live a long time too.
They live a long time. Yeah, that's sadly a lot of them end up in rescues because their owners die before they do.
Amazing, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's about 80 years or some of those birds.
Some more. Don't they live up to 100?
I
need to check that.
Someone's going to fact check that.
We're going to check that. But here's the interesting thing is that, well, I've got some graphs here of where all the blood types came from and how they travel throughout the world. So we've got a mix now, but basically it's very interesting where the O's came from and all the A's and all that sort of stuff. And it just seems to be, evolutionary pressures. So like, and I'm going to pull out a study here, first one for the day here, which will give you an idea of why there's certain blood types and why being an O is better than A. I know it's sacrilege to say that.
Sacrilege.
But if we take an example, and here's the paper here. If we take an example of blood types and say COVID, okay? Guess which blood type is better with COVID? I think you know the answer.
No, it's not an A because I've had COVID.
It's not an A.
It wasn't good.
Okay, there is a blood type that has a very protective role in this particular infection, and it's blood type O. Guess which fares the worst?
A.
A's have shit immune systems, and so we have a really down-regulated immune system, right? And so is that good or bad? Well, we have an immune system that's dysregulated. O's, if you put them in an environment where there's more infections, O's would thrive better.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'll just read this paper out because people think I'm making it up. Frontiers in Medicine, Effects of ABO Blood Groups and Rhesus Factor, we're not talking about Rhesus Factor, on COVID-19 transmission course and outcomes. So certainly the O's are vastly better for that particular infection. Now, today we've got Paxlovid, we've got antibiotics, so these infections don't have the pressures they once did.
Yeah.
But back in the old days, like when I was a kid with the Black Plague, it would go around and kill a third of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like just a third and a half. And, you know, the bubonic plagues and, you know, the Ross River, the Ross River's not so bad, fatal, but some of these infections were very, very fatal.
It's interesting because I don't know if we printed off the paper we were talking and I found the paper on that because the Africans had the O type and they developed the resistance to malaria.
Yeah.
So that strong immune system.
Yep.
So whether that's where it then started to evolve from there.
O's are better.
That's why they have great immune systems.
Absolutely they are. And what they did with this particular paper is they took to all the different countries. So they didn't just pick one. And so they looked at, because ABOs are all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, there's probably even O's here. Can you believe that?
No.
They sneak in with the humans.
Got in.
But us original A cool people.
We're going to get so much trouble for that. All the O's will be like, they're not the original.
They're the majority too. They can overrun us. But all these papers are saying, and I'll just pick one here in Spain, the blood group has a protective role and the A's are highly susceptible. Basically, there's a study in Turkey, and I'm just picking the European ones. I don't know why I put my thumb on them. But basically, they looked at all the blood types in the ICU. And most of them were A's.
Great.
So, and in a Brazilian study, authors detect an associated blood type A with reoccurrence of COVID-19. So I said we've got a shit immune system.
Well, I haven't even had it once. I will say that.
Yeah,
I've never had it once.
I know it's I've had it 2 or 3 times. I'm fine with it, but you know I take drugs, well, not drugs, but herbs. I take herbs. We can say the herb, can't we? Because it's not.
Yeah, andrographis.
Andrographis, yeah, it's one of the most powerful things for COVID. Basically, another study in the United Kingdom, which is sort of my heritage. Blood group A are more liable to get COVID-19 infection than blood group O. And you know, yes, that's all good. And why is this the case? Is we've got it, and I'll hold this up here. It's very, very scientific. They've looked at it. Yes. You can see it's to do with ACE2 receptors and crap like that. So blood type A's have got a bad or worse immune system. So sorry to tell you that, Nick.
That's right. Yeah, but see, I've never had any. I said before, touch wood, I've never had any really immune issues. Other than COVID, which hit me hard. Hard. Mind you, I got it from an O.
Oh, those jerks.
Bloody O's. I know, it was good until then.
Yeah, bloody O types. Oh, yeah. But look, I mean, we're going to cop a worse. And the O's probably going to look at you and go, what are you whinging about?
Yeah.
What are you whinging about? Because
right.
A's go to the intensive care.
That's exactly right, yeah.
We also have more sort of autoimmune diseases too, the A's.
Yes. Which I find interesting because
it's not interesting because you didn't get one.
I don't have one. But when we talk about personality types, maybe we're going to talk about that because the A type personality are the ones that get the autoimmune conditions, right? Yeah. Because of the way that their stress and the all that sort of thing. But are they then more the A blood types? Because the immune system's coming into play with the stress. We'll talk more about that, but I just thought that was a funny connection.
I've got a table here from this paper of all the diseases that A's and O's get.
I know.
And I can just pick some of these out. Yeah. And I better read this paper out. It's published in the American Journal of Intelligent Systems.
Oh, that sounds very intelligent.
And it talks about 2021 paper, and it talks about which blood type gets which disease the most. And there's some of these, and I won't go through all. There's a whole lot of them. But I'll give you if you get like smallpox. Remember smallpox?
Not personally, but
I wasn't around there. No. But smallpox has been largely vaccinated out of the system here. But in the day, a lot of people would die of that. And guess which blood group copped it the worst?
A.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that A didn't cop the worst. I've got some bad news about A's if you're an A. Here we go. There's one type of leukemia that blood O's get more, acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Awesome.
But the worst one, acute myeloid leukemia, we get worse. Stomach cancer.
Us.
A's
We'll
get the
talk
worst.
about the stomach acid connection and the theory behind the blood type diet with stomach. We'll get to that.
Well, yeah. Well, the stomach's an interesting thing, and that goes back into the diet. We're going to talk about why that is. Yeah. And I'll just give you a couple. Helicobacter pylori, which is an infection that causes ulcers and that. Blood group A is the worst. And 95%, you're going to love this, is non-O blood type.
Really?
And it's like O's make up the majority and 95% are non-O's.
Nice. Wow, isn't that interesting?
That one blew me away because Helicobacter pylori about it. One of us in the room's got it. There's 1 in 3 who've got it.
Yeah.
It's all.
He's pointing I don't have it. Everybody's pointing at me.
Oh, I don't know.
Picking up as usual.
Some good news for here we go. If the plague ever comes back, Group O gets it worst.
Oh well, that's okay. That makes me feel a little bit. I mean, my stepdad's an O, so I really shouldn't say that.
Oh, you're nasty.
No, stepdad's awesome.
Oh, there's something that your brother would get the worst. Smallpox.
Oh, really?
E. coli and salmonella. ABs get the worst.
Interesting.
ABs are pretty. They're pretty robust. They can eat a lot of stuff. We'll get to that, and they're pretty good too. If I had to pick, I'd rather be an O. But anyway, I'll tell you why. But vascular disorders: venous and arterial thromboembolism, coronary artery disease, stroke, myocardial infarction. Guess who gets the worst?
A's.
Us.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? All right. There's a type 2 diabetes. That's
Is that us too?
No, it's ABs.
Oh, ABs.
So there you go. So there's a heap, and so there's all these papers, and this paper it's gonna make a comeback later too.
Okay, good.
So that's a good one. So there's the diseases. Now, for those who are sitting out there and going, well, hang on a second, this ABO thing is just a load of rubbish. It doesn't mean anything. It means something.
It does, yeah.
It means to disease, and it means to all sorts of other things. Now, depending on where we want to go from here, we can talk about biochemistry, or we can talk about personality, or all that sort of stuff.
Let's talk about biochemistry first.
Yeah, biochemistry.
That's always interesting.
Right.
That.
So that paper I'm going to get to later. That's an interesting one too. Yep. Biochemistry. Okay, what we know about A's and O's. Firstly, what we know is that A's have lower stomach acid than O's. O's have the highest stomach acid. And we've known this since the year I was born, 1847. No.
Yep.
1969, Nick. I'm not that old.
Yeah,
pretty old.
Yeah, pretty old.
Born in the 60s.
Yeah, I know. That's
so the year that mankind tripped the Earth and all that sort of stuff. I've tripped the moon, not the Earth. We've been on the Earth for millions of years.
Someone's tripping.
There was a paper released, and it said the influence of blood group and secretostatus on gastric acidity. And they looked at, when they measured, they figured out how to measure stomach acid. Back then, they took 515 patients, and they found HCl output, the hydrochloric acid output, was found to be significantly higher in patients of blood group O than those of A, B, and AB respective of the family history of duodenal ulcer. Furthermore, hydrochloric acid output was significantly higher when blood group O was concerned, secretors and non-secretors. In AB, BB, there was no differences. So O's have a much more acid in their stomach. Now, okay, you might go, so what? But this is one of the basis of dietary recommendations.
And that's where I think, this is all a bunch of rubbish, the diet, but I think he's probably gone back and looked at a lot of this research and gone, you know what, well, if O's have great stomach acid, then they can break down their proteins much better. So I think the proteins are good for them. A's terrible stomach acid, let's go, they need to be more plant-based because they can't break down those proteins very well. And I think that's where he built his sort of theory on. So
part of it, yeah.
So there is some validity. That's what we were saying earlier. There is some validity to some areas, and I can see it. I mean, I'm an A, and I have always struggled with low stomach acid. It's probably one of my things. And in other people in my family, lower stomach acid as well. So I see it from my own perspective, but obviously I don't ask. I should start asking for blood types on my patients' intake forms to see if I can do any correlation, because it's fun. I find it fascinating to see whether there is, because I see so many people, I could start to build sort of patterns on whether this really has a lot of validity or not. So it's very interesting.
Well, you're in practice. You see patients every day, and you're still in practice every day. I don't know how you do it. It's crazy the amount you do. But, if you want to look her up, it's Nicole Brown Naturopathy, and you can book in and see it. So the great thing about this is that, okay, so there's more stomach. Now, from that paper that we saw before, stomach acid is much higher in A's.
Yeah.
Because we've got less acid.
In O's. But it's lower in A's.
It's no stomach cancer is higher in
stomach
A's.
Cancer.
Yeah, cancer.
Stomach cancer is higher. Yeah, because they have the low stomach acid.
Yeah, peptic ulcers are higher in O's, but stomach cancer is much higher in A's.
Yeah, because
you need acid in your stomach.
That's right.
The only good thing about this is pancreatic cancer we got lower, which is good. Anyway, so you get low stomach acid. That's bad. Because
it is bad.
Yeah. You can grow infections now, like Helicobacter pylori and all this sort of stuff.
And we talk about stomach acid all the time.
Oh, yeah.
For the gut health and that sort of thing. And everything starts with the stomach acid. So Diadamo, he's probably gone back and looked at all of this stuff and started.
He did.
And that's where he's built it on. And I can see it. I can see where that sort of comes from. So, even like the legumes and some of the legumes and things like that, which A's can't have, that's because they're very hard to break down. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Exactly. And also you've got to remember that there's lectins in food, which can agglutinate certain bloods. Now, do they come in contact and all this sort of stuff, blah, 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 is a mystery. And we've got a massive chart here about what foods do what, and we could talk about them. A little bit more on biochemistry. Paper published Cortisol and Catecholamines Response to Venesection by Humans in Different Blood Groups. And this is 85 paper. And what they did in this is that they wanted to measure how much cortisol was secreted in different blood groups based on 134 humans with different blood groups. And they had to come up with the stress, and taking blood was the stress.
Oh, really?
Because it's a mild stress.
Some people really struggle with it. couldn't care less, but some people struggle with it significantly.
Guess which blood group pumps out the most cortisol in response to it?
I already know the answer. It's an A.
It's an A.
It's 100% it's an A.
Jesus Christ. Well, A blood types, and you got to remember that and I'll give you the reference ranges because they got numbers here and they're American numbers, but that's right. Reference values for cortisol when you do a blood test should be 110 to 385. Now the O blood groups, I was going to say, the O blood groups only, we're right in the reference range, 297. A's, 455. Oh, isn't it hilarious?
Yeah.
Now, also, we struggle with cholesterol. When I say struggle with cholesterol, we typically have higher cholesterols than the O's. Our cholesterol levels, they measure that too, is 536. The O's are 478.
That makes sense. My stepdad's O.
Yep.
He's got very low cholesterol. My mum, myself, my brother's A's higher. Yep.
And I know what you're thinking. HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol, the one that cleans you up, we've talked about there, is lower in A's.
There you go.
At 114 compared to 129 in O's. Now, this is another reason why Peter has talked about different diets. Also, adrenaline secretion. We've won this one.
Oh, yeah.
Ours is higher, of course, and even noradrenaline, ours is about the same. But our adrenaline levels were higher because we stress more.
Yep.
So given an exact same stress, taking blood, it's the same stress for an ABO. It actually is more stress. We secrete more cortisol on average.
Yeah.
Now, the range is massive, and even if you go there and like you and I don't care about them taking blood. I don't have a problem.
Look at that vein. You wouldn't even have to try.
Look at the vein.
I know. It's popping, Steve.
Gotta be careful.
I have tiny veins.
Do you?
I was told I have to have the child's needle.
Look at the size of that,
The
Nick.
little baby needles, because it won't. I know, that's huge, Steve.
My wife loves that. She's a nurse, by the way. It's not sexual. She's a nurse. Nothing sexual. We're married.
Her big veins,
yeah, it's like, ooh, nurse porn. So, but yeah, I've got a big one. Oh,
you do have a big vein there, yep. No,
okay.
Enough
about my veins. So it's quite amazing. So we, and I'm saying we because we're A blood types, we stress more to give a given stress that someone else may not stress to.
Yes.
So when cortisol goes up to a stress, serotonin goes down.
Yep.
So that changes what? Our personality traits, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So is there a personality difference between A's, O's, B's?
Well, apparently, according to some of the things that we looked up, yes.
There is, definitely. And I've got a paper on it.
Yeah.
And the paper is titled A Pilot Study Using AI, I love AI, for psychology of ABO blood type and personality traits. So what they did was that they have this prediction, and it depends on the researcher, but there's certain blood types and they do have certain personalities. And it's where people are going to say, no, you can't test that, blah, blah, blah. You can. AI tested it and it accurately predicted which blood type you were based on your personality.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It nuts?
That is
so
crazy.
I'll give you an overview and then we'll go into the science because people are listening going, oh, this sounds like
I can feel the eye rolling as we speak.
I know. But wait, I'll get to the data.
Yeah.
But this is the overall. All right. A's, which are, we're the best.
Yeah, of course, go first.
We are creative.
Yes.
And cooperative. Can I stop there?
See, I don't know if I'm cooperative.
Okay.
Yeah, I think stop there because I've seen the rest of the list.
Are you stubborn?
Yes.
Are you uptight?
Probably a little bit. Yes. Oh, no. Yes.
Yes, you are. All right. So I guess I am too. I guess I'm an A type. But that's not A type, but that's a blood type.
That's a blood, not A type personality, which is where I think A type personalities have a lot of those traits, right? So that's why I'm wondering, A types, it's very confusing.
I know.
An A blood type.
We're talking about blood types here.
A type personalities, whether they have an A type blood as well, and that's why they are a little bit.
So the psychology of this is fascinating, and this is by Kanazawa, which is a paper published in Japan, and Japanese are very sort of famous for all this sort of stuff.
They love this stuff, yeah.
And they wanted to make sure this was actually like legit or not, and so. What they did was they gave information. I'll go through the other blood types. You want me to? Sorry.
Yeah, go through the other.
These are,
because the others will be sitting there waiting. What am I?
Yeah, what are you? Well, if you're a blood type B, you're empathetic, you're passionate, but you're also selfish and erratic.
Oh. Sorry, bees.
Yeah, some emails coming in. I am not selfish and I'm not erratic. I'm not erratic. Oh, quick, send that email now. You ready for the ABs, which are like your brother?
Yeah, my brother.
Now these are the good ones.
Yeah.
Rational, adaptive, but indecisive and critical.
Oh, I'm not going to comment on any of those because just in case my brother listens. But I mean, yeah, my brother's my favourite person, so I'm not going to say any of that's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My sister, who's an O.
Yeah.
Okay, she is confident, true. She's resilient, very true. It says self-centered and unstable as well.
Whoops.
Okay, so there's good and bad.
So this is my theory on that, right? Because I also looked at different, because I sort of connect this a little bit to similar to, we were talking about Ayurveda and the doshas.
Yep.
Some people know about the doshas, so that's a different body type. So I think, different cultures have different sort of variations, versions of this type of thing. So in regard to the personality types, there's because with the Ayurveda, if you're unbalanced, then you show more of the negative traits, and if you're balanced, then everything's great. So I think it's probably, depending on whether this is actually valid or not, but this is theorising this. If you're more as an A, if you're balanced, then you have more of those positive traits. But if you're unbalanced, then you're going to show a lot more of those negative traits.
100% true.
Yeah.
If you're healthy in that, you shine your positive traits. Yeah. Absolutely right. That's very important to say that. Do you want me to go in a bit more detail about the blood type personalities? And this is from that paper, same paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what are you? We'll start with A's because we're the best.
Go for it, yeah.
We're cautious about new actions, Also pursue stability, but sometimes obsessed and burst into rage.
Oh, that's true.
I wish I'd read this before.
We're giving too much of ourselves away, Steve.
Desire for malting. So you desire for malting.
Desire for what? Malting?
Malting, which is like, working with others, basically. Working with others, trying to be...
Multitasking?
No, MOLTING.
Not like molting.
You've got a dog on your mind.
That's true. I've never heard that term before in that context.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Always trying to improve.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Take a brave action and in an emergency. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's it.
Go step by step after convinced. Formula-like, prudent judgment, although draw a clear line. Strongly suppressive outside versus violent intake. That's interesting. Recover slowly after you get hurt, so you don't have a good resilience there.
A bit of a whinge,
and concentrate on one thing at a time. So that's the A's. The O's are purpose-orientated, head straight for a target, great achievement and power.
Oh, see, I knew an O in my life that, he was all of these actually.
However, do not endure meaninglessness. So they have
that's
a short...
true for this person in particular. Okay. Yeah.
They give up early if there's not a good outcome coming.
Yes.
Okay, they're good with weight loss and against, and that sort of thing. They hold a belief, like they have a strong philosophies. You see how they're very headstrong?
Yes.
Very non-stressed, non-emotionally like us crazies. Articulate and logical, but somewhat straightforward.
Yep.
They're simple-minded in part, so they have a very monolithic drive. Emotions are usually stable and do not linger. And they lose heart when concerned, when cornered. So very interesting. Okay, so the B's.
It gives the B's. Yeah.
B's.
I feel like B's get lost a little bit because I don't know a lot of B's.
There's not many of them around.
No, that's it, right? So
in Asia, they're very much through Asia.
Yes, yes.
But not here.
Yeah.
They look for a life with a lot of freedom because remember the B's were the nomadic group
So I think I should have been a B. I think I'm a bit nomadic. Yeah.
Like drinking milk.
No, I don't.
They're the
drink
ones
dairy.
that can tolerate a little bit of it.
So they're
particularly dislike rules or formulas. Do not hesitate to take new actions. You see how the nomadic lifestyle sort of thing? Tend to be absorbed in strongly interested things, multitasking, and they can go overboard. They're quick and flexible judgments. So they're pragmatic and do not draw a line. So they're quite good to work with, that sort of stuff. They emphasise scientific accuracy and validity. Feelings sway. They're moody. They frankly express anger or sorrow. So they're very good at expressing themselves.
Yeah.
You want ABs?
Yeah, that's really funny. Okay, yeah, give me ABs because I have a theory on this.
Here's your brother.
He's my brother. I hope he's not listening because I can't.
I hope he listens to this because he'll be very pleased because ABs have a very good personality.
Well, yeah.
Good reflexes, business-like efficiency, quick and easy understanding, rationality. They're very rational. They're a good critic, like they're good at analysing and being very critical.
That's true.
Durability with calm, cool, stable.
That's true.
And they don't have much fragility. Able to do everything accurately, good at designing but not cleaning up. That's one bad thing about them.
That's one bad thing about them. The rest sounds pretty accurate in my experience.
They're smiling and soft but keep a certain distance from others. So that's the ABs. So okay, based on those personality traits, what they did in this particular study was they said, okay, based on that, we're going to get a computer that you're going to answer questions, so there's no humans involved, and you're going to feed these answers based on your personality questions into a computer, an AI, and it's going to predict to see whether it can tell your blood type or not.
Yeah.
Accurate.
How accurate was it, Steve?
Very.
What was the percentage of it?
No, it was
something.
It was less than P05, so very, very accurate. It measured. It actually got what your blood type was.
It's very scary to think that artificial intelligence are that.
So it was very, very accurate and beyond what they call significance, which means less than 0.05. That sort of thing reached clinical. So 95% certainty.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, we'll get lots of comments and emails saying that's not true.
I'm not like that. And that's fine. That's
And that's possibly where, I don't know, we're just theorising. But I think, see, everybody could have elements of all of those personalities. And that's why I was interested with the ABs, like what they have. Because my brother's also a Gemini, so there's two sides.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
No. So...
But isn't it fascinating? Like
it is fascinating, and we're not sitting here saying this is the science. We 100% believe this, but I see elements of this, and it's always interesting to take it all into consideration.
Just to conclude this study, it said we observed a clear and significant relationship between blood type and personality in large-scale surveys, and this is a large-scale survey. Isn't that amazing?
It's so fascinating, isn't it?
I just absolutely, just incredible. And this published 2021, American Journal of Intelligent Systems. And it's funny, we talked about that yesterday. I've never heard of this journal because it's a journal we don't go into.
Well, it's not our area.
It's not our area. But isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of differences between us.
A lot of differences.
Is there a personality difference? With that clinical significance, you can say, yes, there is.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think my personality profile fits that fairly well, so I think that was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I can't ever imagine you going into a rage, though, Steve. You're very, very calm?
Yeah, well, I'm balanced. I'm pretty healthy at this moment.
That's true.
But when I was running my own business, and it was, I wouldn't rage, but I wasn't rage, but I lost my, I had serious mental health issues.
Yeah, well, that comes with running your own business.
Oh God, it was terrible. No, but pretty incredible. Now, Nic, you've got a wicked chart in front of you there.
I have.
Now, it's basically the blood type diet and what. So what we've established so far is that there's differences in our personality and our physiology. We know that. Okay, that's not really. I mean, you can debate it, but it's, the science is never settled.
No,
but it's pretty strong that there's some difference between blood type. So this is part of where the blood type diet came from.
Yeah.
It also came from the fact that there are lectins in foods that cross-react with blood types. Like if I gave you B-type blood, your IgM antibodies would attack it and it would agglutinate.
Yes.
And I know this because in about 2000 and odd, I can't remember the date, I developed a blood type test that's
I know, this makes me laugh.
Not that exciting.
Almost every episode, Steve comes up with something like just blasé, and it's like something's hugely significant.
It's not that significant.
I developed a blood type test. I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, all I did was they used to test blood types. Now they do it, computer, it's all flash. But they used to use little droppers, and you drop a bit of A-agglutinin, which you'd mix with A blood type, and it'd come up and clump and look awful.
Yeah.
And you drop that and B. You'd have two of these droppers in the olden days, and they were just agglutins. So they would. So let's say you had your blood on it, and you put some in a test tube, and you put A-agglutinin in there. It'd aggluten up and turn clip. Put B-agglutinin in there, it wouldn't do a thing.
Yeah.
There's just nothing because you've got no B in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And O's, if you put them in two test tubes and you put A and B in there, it'd be nothing and nothing. So you'd be zero.
Yeah.
A, B, you clump them both.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wondered if these serums still existed and they were still used.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I did was they were cheap. Little gluten things. So I developed a card, and I used business cards laminated, and I said, you just get a finger prick your finger, put a drop in each circle of the business cards. It was funny design of the business card. It said A, B,
sort of
metagenics at the top, and then you just put a drop on each with your blood, and it's either you mix it up with we had a little toothpick in there. So this is pretty remedial stuff. And, and of course, if you're an A, you'd aggluten with the A, and B, you'd aggluten with the B, O, gluten with neither, A, B, you gluten with both. So a very simple blood test, just a finger prick.
Yeah.
And so I developed these tests. And, they're cheap and really easy to use, and you can do them in your clinic.
Yeah.
This is
pre-telehealth and
all that sort of business.
Yeah.
But very, very easy to do. And so that's where we sort of,
Which would be super handy in clinic to know people's blood types for different reasons.
Yeah.
You can't do it when you're through a screen.
Well, if you're an A, you're an absolute jerk.
Well, I mean, it would be, as I said, it's not huge. The science is not settled, but it would be interesting just as an experiment to see people coming to you what some of their symptoms are, and if you can correlate that with their blood type. That'd be super fascinating.
And you can screen them too if they're an A. You can say, I don't want to see you.
I do not want to know.
So you see, I've upset the A's, but I'm an A myself.
I know we can say it because we're A's.
It's like you can pick on it. It's like we can pick on our breakdancers and other people can't.
I know. I'm sorry. I saw that video yesterday. Well, I don't even understand what even happened. But what even was that? Yes. Anyway, we'll move on from that. But
so let's have a look at this diet thing. So based on that, and based on the fact that there's some agglutins and lectins in foods that can clump with certain blood types too. Yeah. Now, does that mean that it gets in there?
Well, that's it. I mean, with the immune reactions and things, I can see there where it comes in.
Yes.
I can see okay, cool. I can see possibly, yes, there could be reactions to this. So that sort of makes a bit more sense to me. So I mean, look.
So where we start here, we'll start with the O's because they're the most common. They're the boring ones, boring, stable ones.
Yeah.
Not as stable as AB, but they're pretty good. They've got low cortisol and all that sort of stuff. So they've got more stomach acid and they've got less cholesterol. They can metabolize cholesterol a lot better than us. That's what we know from the data.
Yeah.
And so it's been hypothesized that they should have a much higher sort of meat-based diet. Yeah. And so if you look on here and you look on page 2, you see beef there and all that. Liver is plus, which means it's a beneficial food for them. Organ meats plus, fish plus, so they can have all those sort of proteins and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And even they can tolerate shrimp and all that sort of stuff. So they're neutral for that. But if you look at the grains, for example, it's barley, other grains, couscous, all that sort of stuff, whole grain bars. It's very, you shouldn't really have them. Shouldn't really have it. So the O's were the original sort of hunters and gatherers. They were the ones that had low grains and had, much more, hunting and gathering. They were the more of the people that could tolerate more of the meats.
Well, that's where you get the was it the Okinawans and they were very much meat based. So when you look back and okay, that kind of does correlate. Yeah. So that's a bit interesting. And
so they have lower cholesterol.
Yep.
And they have lower stress hormones.
Yep.
And so they can kill and hunt and gather and tolerate more stress like that. And this is where the theory comes from about them have more stomach acid, less cholesterol, more cholesterolase, which is an enzyme that breaks down cholesterol, so they can tolerate more animal cholesterol foods.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's part of where it came from, but they can't tolerate the refined stuff because you didn't hunt down and kill a bowl of wheat.
No, that's right. No, you did what you... Maybe, but no.
So it's very, that's where the theory comes from.
And that's interesting because, I mean, I know I keep pulling it back to the Ayurvedic, but I'm trying to find connections where I can because I sort of think of and I'll probably get shot for this, but I think of A's as like the ones that can blow out quite easily.
Yes.
So, an O has a grain, they might put on a lot of weight. Things like that, but need a much sort of a bit more sluggish type of personality, whereas the A's are very fast, that type of thing. And then the B's are just sort of, they don't really have any issues. They can do whatever they want, really. So
B's can, they can eat anything on this sort of chart.
Yeah, so they've got a bit of the best of both worlds, really.
They can, they're pretty good like that. But yeah, so that's where it came from. Now let's go to the other end of the extreme, which is us.
Yes.
And look at the beneficial foods: spinach, kale, bloody celery.
I know, all the veggies,
Yeah, onions, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Okra, but
Mediterranean olive oils.
Yeah. And so theoretically we can tolerate a little bit of grains, but not too many, but some.
See, I don't do grains. I know you don't do grains either. But I could easily be a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for a long time, which is a pescatarian, but I renamed it.
What do you call it?
Vegetarian.
Okay,
that was my
use
term.
That term.
Anyone can use that.
Now we are big nut eaters.
Yes. Well, you're a big nut eater, Steve. I don't eat as many nuts.
No.
I'm not a huge nut eater.
And it's funny because, I bring in kilo worth.
You do.
I give the sound guy, the video guy some. I gave him some this morning. Matt, behind the camera. But that's because, and it does well for me. I don't put on weight. I don't have any, my stomach's good with them. I feel good on them and that sort of stuff. And, and so nuts are very good for, I'll say us, but even peanuts, peanut butter, walnuts are beneficial for us.
Salmon, I would eat salmon every day of the week if I could.
Typical A blood type.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I look at this and I think, you know what? Yeah, and I haven't really looked at the blood type diet before, to be honest. Yeah. And I looked at it the other day when we were going to do this, and I looked at the A's and I thought, you know what? I pretty much to a large degree follow it already without even knowing, because tomatoes and eggplants cannot even look at them. I don't even have a massive aversion to them. And legumes I'm not good with.
Yep.
I don't have a huge amount of red meat because I really don't love it. Yeah. So, but I eat a lot of fish. So I thought, that actually fits with kind of what I inherently are drawn towards and away from. So, but then you eat a lot of meat, Steve, right? And you do thrive on it.
I do eat red meat, and my stomach seems to tolerate it fine.
Yeah.
So this comes down to the thing we were talking about yesterday about, and I use the policeman analogy, so excuse me, I know you've heard this before, but what Peter was talking about when in my lectures is that as practitioners, which we both are, we are the policemen at the traffic lights. This diet is like the traffic lights. It's like generally the traffic 99% of the time goes through that. But if I went up to the end there and they're doing roadworks and there's some policeman or a traffic signal there saying stop, go, I would believe him or her over this because that's the rules can be broken.
That's right, yeah.
Based on your individuality.
Yeah.
And of course, we're all individuals.
Yeah, and it depends on where you're at health-wise and what's going on, whether there's dysregulations in particular systems, and then that's going to impact this as well and change it up as well. So I guess when people say, yeah, but that doesn't work for me and this doesn't work for me, now it's all a bunch of bull and all that sort of thing. Yes, it could be, but also could it be that where you're at your health, there's something else going on that's changing the reactions to this as well. So, and that's where it comes back to, this is, I mean, if you wanted to try this, they're all relatively balanced diets. Either there's not really anything particularly extreme in any of them, so they're relatively safe to try. Yeah. And then if you feel great on it, awesome. If you don't, then don't. So if you're an A-type and you're on keto and you're thriving, then do it. Like there's no argument there. But it's just interesting it's just interesting because I really can now we've looked in it, see a lot of validity in it in particular areas. Yeah,
exactly. It's very interesting. There's some bad things here though. Bacon and pizza are a void for everybody.
Yeah, see, I don't eat bacon, but I don't eat pizza. I haven't eaten pizza in years, but it was one of my favourite things to eat, to be honest.
Really?
But I don't eat it.
I can't imagine you eating.
That used to be, well, I used to have junk nights, but I don't anymore. But I would eat, I shouldn't say this.
Say it.
I'd eat a family-sized pizza on my own. I can eat, yeah. But see, I was super active, so it didn't even bother me. It just like straight, not even touch the sides. But I haven't eaten pizza in a long time because I don't eat grains really at all anymore. Yeah. So I don't eat the bases. I do a cauliflower pizza occasionally, but not really because I don't. No matter how. And if anyone's got a really good recipe for a cauliflower pizza base that works, tell us because I can't find one.
Yeah.
But yeah, bacon. I don't eat bacon. So, but they're sort of foods, that really no one should eat anyway, really, are they?
No,
not regularly anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And especially, and then this is where bacon might be a problem, or nitrate-rich bacon for A's. Remember, we got much higher stomach cancer.
Yes.
So we know that's so drinking alcohol, we have to limit A's, but we can have a little bit of red wine.
See, I don't do alcohol at all.
Oh, I don't.
But I have histamine issues, so I can't touch alcohol anyway. Yeah. But I've never been able to have much alcohol.
So let's say you're a normal A. You're a higher risk of heart disease. So this is where they bring red wine in, and people say, well, it's mildly protective against heart disease.
And then that's funny because we did the anti-aging podcast quite a while ago. I think it was last year now, and the resveratrol in the wine that is protective. They have now found that you'd have to drink to get the therapeutic effect of the amount of resveratrol you need, the therapeutic amount you need to drink roughly about, I think it's 1,000 bottles of wine in a sitting to get the actual resveratrol amount that you need. And there's a lot of new research, because I'm looking at some research at the moment on anti-aging. You need massive amounts of resveratrol to have any impact whatsoever.
Like we're talking, the tablets used to be about 100 milligrams.
Yeah, no, we're talking in gram doses, like high gram
expensive
doses.
Yeah.
So the red wine thing for everybody that drinks it for the resveratrol, sorry, it's not doing much.
The other reason Peter recommended something like that for an A is the relaxation, because we're cortisol stress heads.
Yeah, that is true. Well, my experience.
So, it depends on the individual. Like, I'm not a big stressor anymore.
Yeah.
So I won't need that. And plus, I can't stand wine. I'd rather lick concrete.
No,
Isn't that?
I don't understand. I'm sorry, all the wine drinkers. I don't get it. It's just vile.
Do you want me to offend another half of the population?
Yeah.
Coffee. If you drink that, that's the weirdest.
Can't drink coffee. You and I are very similar in that regard. I can't do coffee. I don't get coffee either.
I don't get it. I don't.
No, I can't. Everyone each their own. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that we do that other people would think that's horrid, but we eat stuff. But
okay, so what we can have is garlic, which is highly beneficial for us because garlic is good for cardiovascular. See how they're
you can start to see the correlations, which I find this is where I think it's really, really cool.
There are some things that are based on lectins, like tofu.
Yes.
People bloat with tofu. Yeah. I can eat it. It's fine.
Yeah, I can eat it.
No problem at all. Where A is highly beneficial for us, but if you're a B, because it's got the A lectins in it, it's really bad for blood type Bs.
Yeah.
And that's where you have these, oh my God, if you've ever been on Instagram or Facebook and people talk about diets, like there's people, you got to remember there's people on there that like, well, let's take the carnivore diet, very extreme diet where people eat nothing but eggs, bacon, liver, whatever, meat and that, and they thrive.
Yeah.
and they go, hey, look, I've lost 60 pounds, usually American. Blood works all fine. They're healthy. They feel great. Then you'll get someone on there saying, no, it'll kill you. It's awful. I tried it for a week and it's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's data out there.
Yeah.
Now, all right, one person's opinion, but there's a lot of these people out there, these carnivore people, Eddie Abu, and they thrive on it.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
You can't say, no, you're wrong, even though you look like a Greek goddess or god, whatever, if you're a guy or a girl. You can't say it's shit.
And I think that's where this frustrates me a lot, because there's a lot of people out there that everyone has an opinion, and everyone can have an opinion, of course, and everyone's right. And that's because it's right for them and it works for them. So then they think, well, if it works for me, it's right, I'm right. So I'm going to tell everybody else that they're wrong and I'm right.
Yep.
But the other person's right as well, because it works for them. So and it comes back to individuality. We're so individual. We all have different things, with different imbalances, different, health things at different times of our lives. And so things will work at some point and not at another. But then, somebody else that's got very similar maybe health condition to us, but they cannot do the thing that we do. Is it come down to blood type? Possibly. Well, we don't know, but that could be a variable. So it does frustrate me when people are like adamant, and there's a lot of high profile people that we know that tout a lot of things that they don't have experience in the vast sort of, outlook of different people, and so they don't see different populations of people. They see a population and that's all they see. So whatever they are showing them to do works because that's that type of population. So it frustrates me when people get on the bandwagon and say, no, you're right and I'm wrong. It's like, look, everyone can be right to a degree in a lot of different things. And I think a lot of things, and I'll probably get shot down for this.
Yep.
I think
email.
mindset. Yeah, another mindset. This would be big. Mindset and placebo. I think because of the years I've done in clinic and also previous careers in fitness, and placebo is a massive thing. Massive. So what you think really does impact your physiology. People may think that's a load of hoo-hoo, but I've seen a lot of it, so I can only go on what I've seen. So, if someone believes 100% something's going to help them, then a lot of times it does.
Incredible.
So there's different reasons why, it works for somebody so well, and then someone else has a completely different opinion. So
absolutely,
we're not sitting here saying this blood type diet is the thing. Everyone should do it.
We're not.
We're just sort of saying these are some of the things we've found.
Yep.
These are some of the things that maybe a little bit more the lines are blurred, but here's a lot of validity. So you take what you want from it, and then try it if you want to try it. Don't if you don't. But it's fascinating.
You're 100% right. I mean, also you got to remember, if there was a good diet, then there wouldn't be a debate on the internet. It'd be like a nice piece of paper like that, and they go, here you go, John Smith, eat this and you'll be fine. And that'd be the end of it. And you wouldn't sell no one to buy any other food on the planet. There'd be no chips sold, none of that crap. But we have free will. We can eat what we want and what makes us feel good. Let's face it, most Australians eat what they want and not what they need, and not they just eat badly, and that's fine. That's up to them. But then of course, because every human eats, then everyone's got opinion about what they should eat, and then everyone's got a smartphone and they get on their phone and go, I'm going to tell the world this is the best thing, and then people argue, and it's a funny cesspool out there.
It's frustrating. And as a practitioner, imagine if I sat back as a practitioner, or you as a practitioner, Steve, and said, well, this is the way I've read all the research on this, so this is the way you all have to do it.
Yeah.
And we sat there and said, well, you're wrong. You're not doing, that may be working for you, but because I've done this research, you need to do this.
Yeah.
You need to look at everybody as an individual and base what's happening for them around what you're prescribing. And that's what everyone should do in their life. Have a look at, every area of your life and sort of base that around what you're doing for your health.
Correct.
So, and then there's another one, and we didn't talk about the exercise. I think we might have talked about that last time. But this is also super interesting. And this goes back to a lot of things I say to clients as well. But these sort of correlate again with, like the A types with the cortisols and things like that. Yep. So, the A's really shouldn't be doing a lot of really high-intense exercise, more calming, which definitely fits for me. I've never been a high-intensity person. I can't.
And you used to compete.
Yeah, and I've only ever, I could just do weight training every day and walking. That's pretty much all I've ever done, really. I used to swim and things, but I don't high intensity does not work for me at all. Right. It just like shoots my cortisol up too high and then you burn out, that type of thing. So the A's really...
The blood test can stress you out, so you'll easily be stressed in a gym, won't you?
I don't mind I don't mind the needle. I just stress about what the results are going to be. What's the result going to be? But so they need to do things that actually give them energy rather than sap their energy. So more things like, they say, which I probably couldn't do because, again, I'm an A-type, so I don't like to go slow.
No.
Tai Chis and things like that. Yeah. And I'll always get an A-type or meditation, which I do a lot of and I talk about with clients. And the A-types always say, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's too slow. I can't do it. Yep. I can't sit still. No. And that's because they're racy. Their cortisol's going too much. And that's because they're an A that's out of balance. So
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So let's
have a look at what exercises we should be doing, and we can sort of break it apart.
Okay.
A's.
So A's, obviously, as we said, they need to do more low intensity restorative type things. So hatha yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, light swimming, meditation, jogging, hiking, golfing. Doubles tennis, I thought, was an odd one.
Tennis?
It's still going to be maybe because there's two of you there, you don't have to run as much. I don't know. I've tried tennis. It didn't go well for me.
It wouldn't go well for me
I also tried golf. That did not go well. I played 18 holes of golf once and get the ball off the ground once.
Really?
No, it was horrendous. Once only. I'll never play that stupid game again. Sorry to all the golfers out there.
I like it better, but I'm shit at it.
Oh, it's horrendous. I literally couldn't get the ball in the air. I just putted it the whole way around.
But the whole wedge is shaped like that. So
I know. I'm also left-handed, Steve.
Oh, you're weird.
I know. So I struggle with. This is true. I'm a left-handed person in a right-hand world, Steve. It's a true thing.
It's true.
Scissors.
Yeah.
People forget about this stuff, but it actually, if I go to pick up a pair of scissors, I have to turn them upside down so they'll work.
But left-handed people are weird. They're just weird.
Well, they're actually more creative, Steve, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I was handed a left-handed guitar, and I had to turn it upside down because I could not play it with my left hand.
Yeah.
Even though I know, my brain knows the chords and I've played songs for decades, I have to play it this way.
Yeah.
It's just...
So why your brain's wired, really. So you can train yourself to do
because, Paul McCartney and Hendrix, they're shit guitarists.
Oh, no, you're terrible. Yeah, terrible. Not the top guitarists in the world are left-handed.
Yeah.
So, tennis. I mean, it must have been a left-handed, must have been a right-handed tennis racket I was using because something wasn't right. So probably.
Gosh.
So more restorative type exercises. Yep. Do you want to know what the blood type O's?
Hit me with it.
The O's really should be doing.
Yep.
So they have a very, as I said, very sluggish type, so they need lots of hard stuff. So they need vigorous exercises to get the blood flow going, to get the energy, all that sort of thing. Otherwise, they can get a bit lazy and lethargic. Sorry, O's. It's just the research.
No, they're jerks.
So jogging, gymnastics, calisthenics, hiking, swimming, bicycling, vigorous exercise. And they do well with, heavy strength training as well because they put on muscle quite easily because they've got the stomach acid to break down the protein to get the amino acid, so they get the full effect of the amino acids.
Jerks.
I know, jerks. So that's that. And then your B's, of course, they can do whatever they want, really, can't they? So
they can.
They've got the best of both worlds. They can do some jogging, hiking, swimming, gymnastics, calisthenics, and then they can do yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever they want, really. They don't like the B's. They can do whatever they want.
Who cares? There's not enough of them to worry about.
No. What's my brother do? He does a bit of a mix of
No, he can
things.
do a mix. But A's and O's are the distinct polar opposites of each other.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
So it's very interesting, and that really fits with a lot of people I see with the exercise too. So again, we're not saying this is set in stone and we 100% go by this, but there is elements, and it's very interesting to sort of match it all up. Sorry, Matt, just hit the microphone.
but it's amazing because I follow some people online and mates of mine that are professional bodybuilders, semi-professional, that sort of thing, and I follow them online, Instagram, and they love it. They go, I love going to gym, love doing legs. I did legs this morning. It was shit.
I hate legs.
It was shit. It hurt. It's I don't want to.
Horrible.
But it's I was there and, I made it and back and yet my wife, who's probably, we talked about it. I said, what are you, by the way? She goes, oh, I don't know. Well, I think she because of what she does and how she eats and all that sort of stuff. She seems like a no. But it's very, very interesting about the different exercises. And there's people who love going, look, you see the old Ronnie Coleman videos where he's, lifting 200-pound dumbbells and they just love it.
Love it.
But I think that just hurts.
It does, yeah.
It just hurts.
Yeah.
Then you walk out and you're sore and it's like, but anyway.
Yeah.
But then I can run distance and I don't mind that.
Yeah, see, I can't run. I don't know what happened to me. I can't run either. I'm an A.
No.
I will walk till the cows come home. So if I had any choice of anything, I would just walk.
There's a guy I'm following on Instagram now and he's doing a walk for universal basic income. And it's like, I don't care about that so much because I don't agree with that. But he's walking from the bottom of Australia to the top. It fascinates me.
See, I've always wanted to walk a lap. Always,
a lap around what?
The country.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's my dream. If anyone wants to sponsor me, I'll do it. ATP can sponsor me. There we go. I'd so do it.
After this, I'm going to show you this guy, and he's doing it on his own, and he's sleeping in the bush, and he's just walking. He does about 40 k's.
I'd have to have a van. I couldn't rough it. No. I need the luxuries.
No, this guy's doing, and it's just very fascinating to me because it fascinates. And there was a guy in his 70s who he did Jeff's walk, and you can Google this. He was 67 and he walked from Gulf to Gulf.
Wow.
From the Gulf of South Australia to the Gulf Carpentaria.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then he walked from east to west, from Byron Bay to the west of...
Did he have a support crew or did he just do it camp like on his own?
The first one he did on his own. Because, he carried a solar panel and...
That's amazing.
I just love it. Just love those extreme events.
I love it. But yeah, that's my dream to walk around the country.
And Nick, I've got a question for you that you don't know the answer to, I don't think.
Oh, you were going to hit... Yes, right. I had to remind you, Steve, you're going to give me some good news at the end.
Good news at the end, yeah. Okay.
Is this the good news or are you not up to that yet?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Which blood type lives the longest?
Ah, right. Okay. Look, I'm hoping it's the A's because we've got to have something that's good for us, right? That's got to be what it is.
Well, you're partially right.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Very interesting. So the conclusion is that A's do live longer, but only women A's.
Oh, excellent. So I've got one up on you, Steve.
That's not excellent.
It is excellent.
I'm a male. Yeah, I've got a Y chromosome and everything, and we die sooner. but A's, they seem to live the longest.
There you go. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
But it's funny because they looked at the percentage of people who lived old age, and in conclusion, our retrospective study showed that the percentage of people with blood group B declined with age.
Oh. Well, there's something for the B's.
Also, AB had a negative correlation with age, although it was less pronounced.
Oh. Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
So the type that has the lowest stomach acid that can get all the stomach cancers, the autoimmune conditions, the high stress, they live the longest.
Because they're women.
And resilience.
The proportion of subjects with blood group A increased with age, but again, this effect was only significant in females.
There you go.
Bloody hell.
Go the girls.
So I thought I'd give you some good news.
Thanks, Steve. That's made me feel better after all the bad news that you've given about the A's.
And you got to wonder why. With it's possibly because we're shit with infections, but infections aren't killing a lot of people these days.
No.
It was in the old days where you die of plagues and all the stuff, but now we're not. So A's seem to live longer.
Maybe just the resilience.
O's were sort of, neither here nor there sort of thing. But isn't that very interesting?
It is interesting.
And this is a large study and all that sort of stuff. And there's mixed studies, depends on where you are too. Like there's other studies in different areas. This is the biggest one I found. But there was a study where O's lived longest in certain areas because they had different pressures on them.
Well, again, and that's it, isn't it? It's very sort of, you got to have a look at the environment, the surroundings, sort of issues going on there. And we'll probably get shot because the B's will say they live the longest and the O's will say, so somewhere in the world they probably do.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's why it's the pressures of the environment because you got to remember natural selection, the Darwinian thing I talked about earlier, it's the pressure from the environment for you to live. And if you were crap at living, you died and you didn't reproduce and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So it selected the strongest, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
It's a simple concept.
Yeah.
And it took till 1850s for it to become a real thing, which is quite late in now. By then we knew how the planets worked.
Yeah.
We had Newtonian physics in the 16th century. We could predict when Jupiter would rise on the horizon. But we didn't know about this natural selection business. It's incredible, isn't it?
Interesting, yeah.
And natural selection is just simple. If you adapt to that environment you live, it's no better or worse. It's like, monkeys are better. If you dropped us in the Amazon compared to a monkey, the monkey would be way better.
Yeah.
It's got bigger cecum, can get more out of calories out of plants. We got shit cecums. So it's really interesting, all this.
Really interesting. And you know what? We did forget to mention one blood group, which I was going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The golden blood.
Oh, that's me. No, what is it?
Golden blood.
Tell us about the golden blood.
So the golden blood has got no Reese value. So they can actually donate to anybody and have no. So that's why they call it golden blood, because it's so valuable, because they can actually give it to anybody. Yeah. So they got no Reese value.
Yeah, no Reese values.
So there you go. So yeah, because it's going to bring that up, because I think that was mentioned somewhere.
Yeah.
So we don't know like what their traits are particularly, because there's very few of them, but they can give their blood to anybody.
Like O negs. Because their negative means no Reese. They're called the universal donor.
Yeah.
And AB positive is universal acceptor. They can have blood from you, anybody. Well, I don't know Matt's blood type, but he could give blood to an AB positive, not an AB.
Matt's blood, It's pretty bitter. Pretty
I think I've donated about 30. I can't remember. 30 something.
I've never donated blood. I should.
Really?
No, I never have.
Maybe I'm up to 40, but it's 30 something.
I know people that have a lot of tattoos can't donate blood.
You don't have tats, do you?
I have 2.
Well, yeah.
I knew that was going to come up.
I didn't know this. I've known you for years.
Yeah, I have 2. Yeah, I have one on my wrist, but I have
okay.
one somewhere else, which we won't go into. It's
I wanna go into
weird.
it.
No, it's nowhere weird. It's nowhere weird. No.
Well, then we can go.
I have one on my back. I have one on my back.
Oh, on your back. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
No, it's not my whole back. No. Steve's face. Yeah.
What's on your wrist? Can you?
This is. I won't go into the whole story behind this, but this has a significant story behind it. But yes, we'll leave that one on alone. But because of the toxins, the lead, we should actually do a podcast on tattoos, because the amount of leads and the things in the actual ink. So people have a lot of ink. Well, maybe not, because so many people have ink they don't want to know.
Well, they used to.
But, sorry, just before I forget, because someone will probably definitely pull me up on it. You have to wait a certain amount of time after you've had a tattoo before you can give blood. So you can still give blood. You just have to wait a little bit.
Because tattoos are everywhere.
So if anyone wants us to do a podcast on tattoos and the effects, let us know, because I think it's quite fascinating, but some people may not want to know. But yeah, if you want us to do one, let us know in the comments down below.
Yes.
And we'll do that for you.
That's amazing, because the old tattoos were, you got to remember, coloured. The way you could get colours in the olden days was using different, what they call transition metals, which are the metals, if you remember the periodic table, looks like a castle. It's got things up the end there. Don't worry about the end ones. Look at the middle ones, the transition metals, and they're all coloured.
Yeah.
So, like you could use iron. The ochre colour is that red colour, you know what I mean? And copper is green, and blue, if it's in water, a different valence. So there's all these colours from these minerals. Most of them are toxic.
Yeah.
Not iron.
No.
But if you use other coloured metals, they're quite toxic, like chromium.
Yeah.
Chromium, hexavalent chromium is coloured in at 6.
Yeah.
Terrible valency. But 3 is good for you. So when people say chromium's good or bad for you, say which valency.
Yeah, that's right.
People don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No, they don't. They just go glaze over. But
the 3 valency is what you want. And that's all. Don't check your supplements, because they'll all be 3, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so from 1930, which is when our mate got his Nobel Prize for this AB blood type thing, because he was still alive in 1930. He made the discovery when he was quite young. Landsteiner, with his Nobel Prize in 1930, it's a remarkable thing. We've got this ABO now. Does it mean you've got to eat the diet that ABO? I say no. It's up to the individual. Trumps everything.
Yeah, I agree.
And is there some validity in this? Maybe, yeah, sure. I mean, they've done trials and it hasn't worked out that way because everyone's individual.
That's right.
But is it something you could look at? Like, if you're an O, maybe try this. And if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you.
And that's it. And like we said, they're all relatively balanced diets anyway. So there's no harm in it if you wanted to try it. And if you strive, as you said, if you strive in it, awesome. And then you're probably all for it. And if you don't, as you say, it's all rubbish. So I'm like you, Steve. I'm like, there is some validity to it, but we're not going to sit here and say that, yes, there's a lot of scientific backing. But there is definitely, I can see where he's pulled it from.
Yeah.
And sort of and theorised around that. So yeah, I see, I just found it very interesting because to be honest, when we decided we're going to do this, I was fully on that it's a load of rubbish bandwagon.
Yeah,
completely
sure.
but when I started doing the research, I'm like, no, I can see some validity in some areas.
I think there's a modern take on this. And when you see on Instagram and Facebook people having these diets and you go, oh, my God, that'd kill me. Yeah. And it's like they're lean, they're fit, their blood group's good, they feel great. What am I supposed to say to that? Yeah. No, you're doing it wrong. That shit, that'll kill you.
You feel amazing and you look great, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
So you can't. And that's where the individuality comes in.
And people who, struggle with mental health, like, Jordan Peterson, who's a famous psychologist, his daughter suffered terrible autoimmune disease. She had to have joint replacements, everything. She's young. I don't know how old she's, about 30. I'm making that up now. And she went on a paleo diet and just eats steak and all that sort of thing. And you go, you're going to die. But she's extraordinarily healthy, been on it for years. Yeah. Her autoimmune disease cleared up. Her mental health's fine. She's all that. And now Jordan Peterson's on it and he's doing well. Yeah. And so all of a sudden these famous people who are educated and quite wise are on these, quote, crazy diets, and but you can't. What am I supposed to say as a nutritionist? No, that shit, that'll kill you. Yeah. But I'm feeling amazing. I'm looking great. My mental health's improved. I can sleep.
Pathology looks great. Your health markers are all great. So, and that's where it is. We have to be very careful about, as people that have an influence, not saying us particularly, but people have an influence, that they have to be very careful and realise that it's very individual.
It's very individual.
So you can't say one thing is going to work for everybody. So that's why I'm like, you can't, people say to me, well, what's the best diet? Or they come to me in clinic and, well, what diet should I be on? Or I've read this one's great. And I'm like, well, no, because let's look at your individual, makeup and pathology and lifestyle and personality type, and the whole thing has to come into play. So I think we're both on the same page with this.
One man's food's another man's poison.
Yeah.
On that note, we should leave you because we're out of time.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Hopefully got something out of that. We'll probably get some people on the bandwagon. Who knows?
Yeah, I've upset a lot of people today too.
Anyway, that's what it's all about,
all right,
isn't it?
Well, we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Ooh, loving that.
Stingy. Yeah. I wasn't going to do it. Steve's looking at me that way, so I'm like, no, I'm going to look at it. And that is why. Is that better?
Creepy.
No, I did not.
I thought that's what you're laughing at.
Creepy. Oh, my God, I did a creepy thing.
Yeah, good.
All right.
It's always me that does that.
That's it. It's not one creepy thing.
All right, so...